I'm going to do a video here on Fistful of Frags. Just by chance, I happened to see this post on the game page for a major update, which it's actually not an update. It's just a post and a thing you can download because the game is so dying and the developer has abandoned it for almost 2 years now. There's been no updates. So this is basically a fix put out by the developer, his bookie, or whatever you want to call him, Judge Ukiya, whatever his name was. He's changed his name now, by the way. But basically, the game is dying. The game is in his own quotes. The game is in dire straits and in a state of emergency right now. It is so dead and about to, fail, be unplayable, die, etc. That this is what is needed. So yeah, been a long time past since he's been seen. Yeah, almost 2 years. Blah blah blah. Um, Game is in dire straits. Doesn't mean it's end of the road though. So essentially, what this is that they have a thing here. What is this? They have a thing you're supposed to install that refreshes the servers so that you can get more servers to play from because the game can't be updated because the developer can only he's the only one, like it says here, that can update the game. So to get an updated server list, I guess you have to install this random thing they put on here. And they said, oh, people have used this and you need to run it as an administrator because you can allow it to make doing so you make changes to your computer. So I'm supposed to install this random thing that people have posted on here and they say it's fine because other people have tested it with no verification whatsoever from anybody. Okay, if the developer wouldn't abandon his games, this wouldn't be a problem. Um yeah, developer's gone, blah blah blah. Current status. And it goes on and on about this. This was a server owner here, mixed.xyz. It goes on and on about this person, how they're bad and they wish death upon you and this guy and whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what? So what if this guy is cocky? So what? Okay? I don't get the drama on this. I mean, it doesn't, I'm not involved in it, but it's just one of the problems of this game. I've had people just like this wishing death upon me. I've had people in servers on voice chat say, commit suicide, cut your penis off, etc. Extremely horrible things to me to do. Just because I guess they weren't winning in the game or they didn't like me, you know? They don't know me at all personally, they have no idea who I am, but just because they didn't like me in the game or something, they want to insult you with things like that. That's what you'll find in this game, and because the developer has abandoned it, there are absolutely no things to do for recourse. What can you do? Well, you could try to kick them from the server, but good luck with that because a bunch of people have to vote on it, and a lot of times it didn't go anywhere. Okay, can they get banned? Well, only way you could do that is if the server owner does it, which, unless an administrator is in the server, that's not going to happen. So there's a 99% chance that ain't going anywhere. So there's basically no recourse against people that do stuff like that. If they hack, aimbotting, if they're toxic, there's about nothing you can do. Uh, Blah blah blah. And that he goes on about this server, the people that have this XYZ server, they're just he banned a whole country, banned a whole group. So what? He seems to be making a big deal about something that I'd say, oh, this guy with the server, he's cocky, he wants to do things his own way. Okay. Oh well, let's just avoid this guy. But he calls him out here on the public post and goes all along this long description about it. I really don't care. I don't care. There's evidence for these claims. I don't care. It's a server owner. He has servers. Maybe he's trying to do, like he says, he's trying to do scummy things. Okay, he's a scumbag. How many are there in the world? Millions. So what? Yeah, the game. I guess here, like it shows in this chart, and he's talking about some streamers have tried to keep it alive, some YouTubers, blah blah blah. You know what's so funny? I saw this game was being streamed on Twitch a couple days ago. There was three streamers doing like they said like a pizza party or something. Three streamers playing it at the same time to try and get something going, have a pizza party, some fun time. Between the three streamers, there was only 8 people watching them. That's how dead the game is. And like it says here, some streamers, YouTubers, whatever, have tried to bring life into it. Uh, Playership goes up and down, but doesn't really grow. Around 100 people, a little over 100 or so, and that's it. Can't really get anywhere. And if you look over time, yeah, when it started, I think it was around 1,000 or more. Looks like it went around to several hundred. It looks like it stayed steady like that for quite a few years until it slowly died out. State of emergency is declared in order to keep the game alive. Because one server owner likes it in that way. Okay? He's asking for help from the dev who has disappeared. Conveniently disappeared. It's just a problem when you have one person that has authoritarian control over the game. If they're gone, what do? Well, the game dies. We got to go into this here, a state of emergency, dire straits, because that person disappeared. I don't know. Like he says here, blah, blah, blah. Server IPs, servers. He hopes that the dev sees this. I think there was some in here too that, nobody knows if the developer, is he deceased? What happened? Nobody knows. Is he in jail? Is he in prison? Well, nobody knows. The guy's identity is a secret. Nobody can contact him. He's just disappeared. So conveniently, his project here, Fistful of Frags, is dying. And there's people here in the community, they're trying to do something about it. And now I've was it over 660 hours into this game. There's been plentiful hours of fun and enjoyment, but the developer has ruined it with some of his updates. One of the most, well, I say recent, but it was like 2 years ago or something. He added rideable horses into the game. Not a single person, I guarantee you, not a single person asked for that. But he added horses that you can ride that are sometimes glitchy, sometimes a little, I would almost say overpowered, but I need to experiment with it more. I haven't played the game I've watched people with the horses. It seems a little bit unbalanced to me. But like the people on the horse, they can ride fast and kind of get away from you really quick. It seems a little unbalanced, but I might experiment with that myself. I hadn't played the game in over 3.5 years now. But nobody asked for him to add horses. People are saying on the forums, you look on the forums, people are saying, this guy's cheating. Do something about it. They're saying, these weapons are not balanced. Do something about it. They're saying, can we add these new weapons? Can we get some new maps? Okay? Nobody on there asked for rideable horses. And they add, was it wall jumps and sliding on the ground, kind of like parkour things that you would find. I know you can slide on the ground in Call of Duty, I think. And in Fortnite, he added parkour elements into it. Not a single person, I guarantee you, on the forums asked for that. They're saying these people are cheating. Can we balance these weapons? These weapons are not balanced right. What does he do? He adds rideable horses and parkour. Pfft, where's this guy's brain? Listen to the community. He don't. But I mean, I would be glad if the guy's not in prison or something or deceased. I would be glad if he would come back and get some good updates to this. But and some credits here, and that's it. So essentially, I just want to make an update video on this because I happen to see the first major post on this game in many, many months. You go look at the major posts on this. Oh, there was a Halloween update or whatever. A few events per year, if even that. Some years there's nothing posted for major events. 1 year there was 2 things, another year 3 or 4. That's it. It's just dead as ever. And the game is in dire straits. This guy's own words, dire straits and in a state of emergency. For a reason, too. It's all for a reason. It didn't get this way overnight, people. The developer killed it with all of his updates, his weird twisted vision, like I said before, adding things people don't ask for. We never asked for horses. We never asked for parkour elements, you know. But he adds it, and then the guns, they're not properly balanced. We asked for that. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. In the previous, there was many guns that were used to be good. They used to be viable. Well, he nerfed the hell out of them, and then they stay like that. No, maybe he nerfed them more. Well, why the hell would I even use that gun now? I believe the volcanic was one of them. I would like to try using that again. It used to be good for close quarters maps, like FOF Robert Lee, a ship. On close quarters, you could use that gun. For long range, you're screwed. Even mid range, it's barely viable at mid range. But that gun, he nerfed it again. And one of the updates I remember seeing, he nerfed that. The Derringer. I used to have a fun time going into maps using only the Derringer as my primary weapon. Well, what did he do? He nerfed it. A gun that's already weak to start with 2 shots. It meant as like a prostitute pistol or whatever it was back in the old day. You would just be like a last resort gun. He nerfed it. Why? Why? Was anybody saying the Derringer is overpowered? You should nerf that. No. They're saying the bow is. They're saying maybe Mare's Leg, uh, maybe Colt Army. You know, no. He nerfs the Derringer. He nerfs the volcanic pistol. Why? That's why this game has problems. There's reasons why it has problems. The developer doesn't know what he's doing, or doesn't seem well. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't seem to listen. He needs to listen more to the people, and he just didn't do it. And now he disappeared, or is in prison, or is deceased, or I wouldn't say taking a break. I mean, 2 years is a very long break. So I mean, nobody knows where he's at, and this is what's happened. So now we have to, you know, I'm gonna try and play the game, and I'm not gonna want to do this because and download this server list update from some people, just because the developer is absent. If the game was proper, if it was a regular game, you shouldn't have to do this. You wouldn't have to do this stuff if it was a regular game. But no, because this one's dead, and we gotta save it, and it's in dire straits, in a state of emergency. We gotta get this server list update because there's less servers going around, and the game hasn't been updated for so long. We gotta try and keep it alive, which I would like it to be alive. I would. I've had many, many hours of enjoyability, of fun times, but there's also been many of frustration, many of arguing with stupid people, many of watching hackers, so it's not perfect. And I posted a review for this a long time ago saying a lot of the issues to it. It's far from a perfect game, but I would like to see it stay around if it could be fixed. And it could be fixed if the right person comes along, but I don't think that's going to happen. I almost wonder too that somebody should make a new version of this game. The source engine, it works for it, but it's outdated and it's janky sometimes. Get a new engine for this. Make a new version of the game. Keep the same elements, maybe the same weapons, same style, same graphical style, but make a new one, and you could charge for it. You know what I'd say for this game too? If they put a price on it, people always say, "Well, it's free game. What do you expect? It's free." Okay, well, I would gladly pay a proper price for it, like maybe $3, $5, $8, maybe even 10 if it's really good. I would gladly pay a price for it if the product was there, if it was improved, like people are asking, like I've been asking. I would gladly pay something for it, charge for it. If you got a good product, you could charge, and people will pay if it's good. Okay, and I'd gladly do that if it improves, which it could if the dev comes back and the right management comes in, the right development team. I'd pay for it gladly. But as of right now, the dev is MIA once again.